Okay, what if I told you that the future of e-commerce isn't another Amazon clone? What if it's your local neighborhood market, the one you've known forever, but supercharged with technology? That's not some far-off idea. It's exactly what we're diving into today. A whole new way of thinking about digital platforms, designed from Africa for Africa.
There's no denying it. Digital platforms have totally changed the game. We're talking trillions of dollars in value, turning a handful of tech companies into absolute global giants. And they did it by building these incredibly powerful, scalable models that connect millions of us to, well, everything.
And right there, that's the catch. See, the thing is, the entire blueprint for these giants was drawn up for Western economies. Places with established banking, formal regulations, the whole shebang. The assumption was, hey, this works great here, let's just copy and paste it everywhere else. But as it turns out, context is everything.
And this slide just lays it all out so clearly. The Western model, it's all about centralization. It ships something from a giant faraway warehouse straight to your door, and often that means bypassing the local shop owner. The Afrocentric model completely flips that script. It starts with your community, with the local market and the neighborhood seller, and uses tech to make that connection stronger and faster. It reinforces the economy that's already there.
So, why is flipping the script so important? Well, to get that, we've got to look at the economic reality on the ground. It's a reality that the standard Silicon Valley playbook just wasn't built to handle.
Okay, just take a look at this number from Ghana. Over 92% of business happens in the informal sector. We're talking about the bustling open-air markets, the street vendors, the small farmers. They are the economy. So a digital model that's only built for that tiny 7.7% in the formal sector, you're not just missing a piece of the puzzle. You're trying to build the whole thing with 10% of the pieces. It just doesn't work.
But here's what's so cool. Africa isn't just waiting around for solutions to be dropped in from overseas. It's building them. A huge 80% of the digital platforms on the continent are homegrown. The innovation is already bubbling up, and it's being led by entrepreneurs who get the local scene inside and out.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. Just look at the insane growth of mobile money with MTN or Safaricom's M-Pesa in Kenya. It shows that when you build a platform that actually fits the local reality, it can literally spark a revolution across an entire economy, creating jobs and value for millions of people.
All right, so if the copy-paste model is a bust, what's the alternative? That's where the Afrocentric blueprint comes in. It's a whole new philosophy for how to design these platforms from the ground up.
Now, don't let the term fool you. This is way more than just lines of code. It's about building technology that actually understands and respects how people already live and do business. Imagine taking something as human as trust, the reputation a seller has built up for years in a market, and actually embedding that into the technology.
So let's really dig into what that means. The key word here is reinforce, not replace. This approach builds on the trust that's already there. It blends right in with how people already trade, and it strengthens the local markets that are the lifeblood of the community. It brings in the good stuff from formal systems, like better data and efficiency, without wrecking the informal ecosystem that people rely on.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you build it? Let's get out of the clouds and look at a real-world example from Ghana to see this blueprint in action. I want you to meet Brorno. It's a community commerce platform that's completely turning e-commerce upside down. And this platform, it wasn't dreamed up in some Silicon Valley garage. Nope, it was born right in the middle of the buzzing markets of Ghana, built to solve very real local problems.
So how does this flipped logic actually work? It's pretty genius. Instead of sending you to a website with a central warehouse, Brorno asks, hey, what do you need from your local market today? Say the famous Makola market in Accra. Then it connects you with a seller who's right there. The money stays local, the community gets stronger, and that whole last-mile delivery problem that stumps global giants, it pretty much vanishes because the buyer and seller are practically neighbors.
And this, right here, gets to the heart of it. Brorno is not trying to force a Ghanaian market to act like an Amazon warehouse. It's about giving that market superpowers, making it a better, more connected version of itself, and meshing perfectly with a trading culture that's been around for generations.
Okay, so Brorno is super smart, right? But it's also a window into something way, way bigger. It touches on the future of data, artificial intelligence, and what it really means for a continent to build its own technological destiny.
This quote is so on point. It's basically saying, we're building an AI that is becoming an expert on one very specific way of life, but is basically clueless about how the rest of the world works.
You end up with an AI that's incredibly sharp in one context, but totally blind to all the others. An AI that is, in a single word, provincial.
And this chart shows you exactly why that's happening. Right now, AI models are being fed a steady diet of data from formal, well-documented Western sources. But remember that 90% informal economy? All of that real-world economic activity, the transactions, the culture, the trust, it's practically invisible to the systems that are shaping our digital future.
And this is where it all comes together. These Afrocentric platforms are the solution. Brorno is capturing the real data of community trade. Ag-tech platforms like Complete Farmer and Farmerline are generating incredible data on how over 1 million small farmers actually operate. This isn't just data, it's the ground truth. It's what's really happening.
And that's the ultimate goal here. When you build platforms that actually mirror how these economies work, you create a stream of authentic data. And that data can train an AI to be genuinely useful. Think about it. An AI that can help with crop planning or provide credit scores for market traders because it actually understands their world from the inside out.
So it leaves us with a huge question. What kind of digital future do we want? A one-size-fits-all world where we all use the same platforms designed for the same context? Or a future where technology is as diverse and creative as the communities it's meant to serve? What this new blueprint shows us is that the second option isn't just a nice idea. It's already happening, right now.